CalazCon is a show about war, obsession, colonialist occupation, and the many forms of violence those inflict. See the description for content warnings specific to this episode.
We here, this group of representatives, have stared death in the face.
It's hard to politic with people when you can't figure out what they want.
I want to call a ceasefire with Jovangellian.
I would like to put a swift end to Logan suddenly.
I'm a better friend than whatever else it is I am to these fellow legislators.
So, who would like to do another scene? I know we haven't had an official one from Red yet, but you've also been in a number of scenes, so I don't know if you want to immediately follow it up with that, or if someone else has an idea of what they want to do.
I could go. I haven't been on screen in a while.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm kind of torn on who I want to horse trade with, but I think it's gotta be Fishy.
Okay.
After the whole, you got us down to that server and you were the one who actually had a head on your shoulders. There's like a bit of a new respect that maybe wasn't there before. You have been invited to get lunch.
Okay.
Where do we meet for lunch? What kind of food are we eating?
It's a nice deli.
All right.
One of those places that's like, it's really dirty. It's in the middle of nowhere. You walk in and it's a little intimidating. Everybody's loud and shouting at each other. And you go up to like order a sandwich and they offer you like a sample of the meat. And it's the best thing you've ever had.
Yeah. Gishlak has gotten a 3 meats, 5 cheeses special.
Oh, they don't mix meat and cheese. It's meat only here.
Oh, in that case, Gishlak has ordered a cheese sandwich and a meat sandwich.
Oh my God.
And then is kind of combining them to make the perfect meat and cheese sandwich.
You go to a kosher deli. And you.
Shoot! This is kosher deli.
No. This is
this
happening.
Is great. Keep doing it.
Okay.
You're gonna get your ass beat in the middle of the deli.
Oh my God! And there's like a little dining corner.
Just getting dirty looks from everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone just stops yelling and just stops and looks at you.
Just aghast.
Slowly start taking the sandwich back apart.
It's too late, Nil. Whatever. Just eat your sandwich. It's fine.
This just seems to be my life today,
Shrug.
Anyway, I come to you because I want to apologize, first of all. I feel like I've not treated you with the respect a colleague in your position deserves, and I don't think I gave you a full evaluation, and I was very clearly wrong about that.
Thank you.
And I guess I want to see if there's anything we can work on together. If there's anything that the terminal company would like to achieve. If there's anything strategically you would like to propose.
How direct is Fishy in this moment? Like, out of character.
Yeah.
Fishy has written Blue Sky Endowment off. Like, they have one vote.
Mm-hmm.
Their squad has, on at least one occasion, like, put terminal company in extreme danger.
Uh-huh.
And luckily we've gotten through it fine and we made it work for us. But, like...
Was that the sentient cannon thing?
It was the sentient cannon thing.
Yeah. Thanks, Adrian.
So, it's interesting. But also, Fishy isn't a person to just, like, look a gift horse in the mouth, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to find the right tact here.
Let me sour the gift a little bit. Of course, in this collaboration, the endowment is always less funded than other squads. And in particular with these supply issues, they're struggling to get all the resources that they would need. And I don't want to be too presumptive to ask that terminal company just give that for free, but if I could perhaps use my limited clout here to try to support something you were pushing for this legislative cycle, and in return we could get a little bit of extra supply. I feel that could be mutually beneficial.
Okay. We have a bit of supply to spare. This is the plan. And he goes through the whole spiel that he'd gone through with Dr. Kane, sans map and paper and photos and whatnot.
Uh-huh.
What I need from you is drives.
Yeah.
We need 4 more. We've got 4.
Well, if you're looking for some sort of, political connection, for someone to schmooze properly, I know that Blue Sky has worked with the Hive in the past, and that things have been relatively positive there. So I can certainly ask. I don't have, speaking semi out of character, I have 1 tick and 1 drive clock, so I can't offer any drives personally, but I would not be surprised at all if members of the Blue Sky Endowment weren't interested in helping organize a ceasefire. I will say that I personally have concerns that Jovengel will use this as an opportunity to backstab us once the major threat is gone.
I have no reason to believe that Jovengel will continue this peace once the machine is gone. But maybe with us, maybe not fighting side by side, but not fighting each other, we can see that not fighting each other kind of works for us.
And also, a ceasefire would give us a chance. Yes, I do see a chance to reach into some of those less radical elements of the Jovangellians who are here to find some middle ground. Perhaps to negotiate a way for Jovengel to leave more peacefully than the rest of this war has been. Or at the very least to gain some intelligence for when the ceasefire does end.
That would be a great step too. But we got to get step 1 finished first. I'll give you...
Yes.
I can give you 2 supply for 2 drives. If you can get me halfway there, we're willing to pay for it.
I will ask my squad. I may not be able to give you an answer before the next vote, but I will certainly ask.
It's all I can hope for right now, it seems.
I have to ask, after I was knocked out, were you the one that pulled the trigger on Bookman?
There's a twitch in his face. There's one question you're never supposed to ask a veteran, right?
You're right. I'm sorry. That was uncouth to ask. I trust that you did what was necessary.
Enjoy your sandwich, Legislator.
Yeah. I have a feeling I will enjoy it more if I leave this establishment.
I agree.
You could go far, Representative Fischel. Pushes back chair, wraps up sandwich that I've taken 2 bites from, and walks out.
Can I turn the screw just a little bit more?
Absolutely.
As you're leaving, you hear somebody shout, not Fishy, shout, "Get a load of that guy!"
Make my own sandwich.
I've established before, Gishlak is relatively recognizable.
Yeah. We haven't zoomed in, so it's just us 2 talking, and then we zoom out as Gishlak's leaving, and there's all this security that's been beefed up, just sitting at all the other tables.
Go write some fan fiction about it.
Turns around. Maybe I will. Then thinks for a moment. No, wait, sorry, that period. No.
And then everyone stood up and clapped.
Yeah. On their now official blog that night, that is how it ends.
Goes home and leaves a 1-star review on Yelp.
20,000 word review.
No, I think they type it out, and then they realize, oh, wait, no, this is just going to get me canceled as problematic for being mad about a kosher deli. actually, that's a bad look.
Time to make a new sock puppet.
I think they're just smart enough to know that making more sock puppets right now will not help.
It'd be so easy to, like, reverse it with a reply being like, bitch, you tried to put cheese on a meat sandwich. You ordered 2 sandwiches to make it unkosher at a kosher deli. What are you doing?
So good.
Yeah, I will say, out of character, I genuinely did not parse that. That was a mistake on my part, and then it worked perfectly.
I've been keeping it subtle, but yeah, my characters have all been Jewish coded this whole time.
Yeah. So, it is my bad as a player for missing that, but also very funny.
You're good.
So, I guess, PB, you're going to have to ask Blue Sky if they've got any drive clocks to contribute.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I have a new belief about Fishy.
Yes, thank you for the reminder. What is it?
Fishy has grand plans. Is he willing to be the face of them?
Oh, no.
That's pretty good.
All right, new poster boy, Kagan Fischel. Who has a scene they would like to do?
If nobody else has a thing, I might be able to do a scene right now.
What's your play, Dr. Kane?
I'd like to maybe try and do some horse trading with Gishlak.
Absolutely.
The tricky thing is, I'm not sure exactly how I want to phrase this. This is the second time we're going to see Dr. Kane's, office this session. But yeah, she invites you to her office for a meeting. And I think by the time you get there, she is sitting behind her desk, going over some notes on her holo display.
Dr. Kane, good to see you up and about.
Sort of like a flat smile. Representative Nell, thank you for coming. Stands up to give you a handshake.
Shakes your hand wearing a glove that as you shake it feels weirdly rubbery.
What's with everyone the weird handshakes with me? Jeez.
Well, it's just because I have terrible burns all across my body.
Oh, that makes more sense. Sorry. I thought everyone was talking about, you can't shake Dr. Kane's hand. You're going to get cut.
I'm fine. I have protective gloves.
No, that's really good. How are you recovering after the attack on the legislature?
It has been challenging, to say the least. But I'm feeling more like my old self every day. In many ways, it has clarified our purpose here, I suppose?
I think one could say that.
So, what did you want to discuss?
I have a few things that I would like to cover. First, I would like to hear your perspective on the video of Tempestia. This is quite the bombshell, and I have been trying to go around and talk to people, just to get a survey of where everyone's at so I can better anticipate the upcoming vote. Where do you stand on the prospect of a ceasefire with Jovangellian Empire?
I support it as long as we recognize the dangers within, and that we use it to our full advantage in the entirety of our conflict.
You're looking to opportunistically end the ceasefire, then?
I just think that if we do make a ceasefire, Jovangellian will use it as an opportunity to spy on us further and to gain whatever leverage they can once the immediate threat has been dealt with, and we would be foolish to not do the same.
There is a suspicious lack of, facial response from Dr. Kane. And about the proposition for a new DFS-wide initiative, what is your stance on the current faction goal?
I suppose I can spoil my speech before I give it, but I would support sowing internal divisions, especially among Calazar, divided they fall. Find those within that perhaps won't be okay with their own faction building a super weapon to wipe out the city.
That feels reasonable to me.
What about yourself? Where do you stand on these two topics?
I think we're largely in agreement, which is convenient. I was hoping that we could start from a position of mutual agreement. I suspect that the ceasefire with the Jovangellian Empire would be a little bit more clean than you do, but no matter. In terms of faction goal, I don't really have a preference. Outside of, barring extra circumstances, I probably would have argued for something like Assault the Foe, but I can feel the winds blowing around me, and I don't expect that's going to be a popular position. So, if it grants me a little bit goodwill, I will happily vote with the crowd.
Well, I think there's no harm in voting for what you believe, even if you know it is going to fail, but also using your vote pragmatically is always worthwhile. My suggestion, were I in your position, would be to find someone who doesn't know that you care so little and maybe try to trade away your vote. But that's what I would do. That's how the game is played, but I know some people and find that distasteful.
I know how politics work, Ishlak.
Yes, I know. I'm sorry. That came off patronizing. I'm really trying to work on that. It's not going well.
There's like a smile, and it looks a little bit more genuine. Well, we all have our own things to work on. I had a different... There's a pause. She opens up one of the displays on her holoprojector and like taps a big like green button, and you hear like a fizz in the room. I think the bug should be dampened now. There's something else I wanted to bring up with you. You don't happen to have any connections you could draw on? Connections that would allow you to maybe get off planet?
It's a genuinely good question, actually, out of character. I think yes. Yes, absolutely. I've established that Gishlak is someone who is politically well-connected.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I do have some of those. I will say that this moment right now is not my best moment to lean on them, given my current position in the current discourse, but that should all blow over.
That's
Are
interesting.
you looking to get yourself off planet or someone, a friend?
Myself. I want to make sure I have backup plans. For whatever happens next, I want to make sure that I have an escape route. So, I wouldn't mind if it would help persuade you. Maybe a little bit of horse trading. I could give you a vote or two here or there, if you couldn't help me organize that myself.
Absolutely, absolutely. I have a couple interesting proposals from some sources about where Blue Sky could be best used in the coming weeks. And, me with my single vote, certainly hard to get that off the ground.
Nod. Sure.
So, in exchange, I will certainly put you in touch with a couple of my contacts, fixers, people who are pretty good at getting in and off planet. I will vouch for you. I will say that any assistance in getting the news cycle to move on, if not clearing my image, would certainly be helpful. Associations with me right now are a little bit tense, or not tense, but distasteful.
Yes, I can.
Give it time. It will recover, but
Sure.
I can offer you that.
All right. So for the upcoming vote, I can offer you both of my votes for a DFS strategy. I'll follow your lead. In terms of...
A strategy or a tactic?
I meant, there's 2 rounds of voting we do, which is the overall...
Yes.
There's going to be 3 because of the faction goal.
Yeah, so it's faction goal, and then it's, like, what I thought was called the strategy. It might be the tactic, though. And then after that, it's individual squad plans. So I was talking about that middle one.
Oh, okay, yeah. Absolutely, yes. In that case, I am going to propose liaise as the strategy.
Sure, I can do that.
Because we need to both make sure that we are coordinating with our friends in Jovangellian if peace does come there. And also, working to find those elements in CalazCon to turn against their more bloodthirsty superiors.
Wonderful.
And yes, I do doubt that when it comes to the tactics voting, Blue Sky will get many votes towards doing anything, so a general liaise strategy would be beneficial.
That's fantastic. That works out great. So then, just to clarify out of character, you are fiction or narratively going to give me some connections? Question mark, question mark, question mark?
Yes.
And then I will give you 2 votes on the faction strategy.
Yeah, I will put you in contact with a couple guys who know a couple guys,
Yeah, sure, totally. That's exactly what I had in mind.
In fact, I think what I'll actually do is reach back to the network that I originally used to defect, because I fled Logel. I reach back and
great.
I find, the successor of the guy who I originally used to get me off planet. Just, pre-vouch for Dr. Clipside Kane.
Great. Perfect.
So, a note here.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, as I've said before, you trade votes for supply. Now, we've traded votes for votes, which is a fairly even 1-to-1. I think that maybe this could be trading votes for supply, but then...
Absolutely.
But then legislators can immediately change any +1D supply bonuses for their squad into drive ticks for themselves.
Oh, that rules.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was planning to do before we got attacked, and I'm still trying to figure out ways to do.
I guess, Gishlak, how many supply are you giving to Dr. Kane? And Dr. Kane, how many of those are you turning into drive ticks?
I think I only have 1 I can give, because my squad is tier 1.
Oh, you can give up more than that. It's not dependent upon tier.
Oh, okay.
It's just that is what the penalty for their next supply roll is going to be.
So I could give away 7 supply here, and just because they can't go below 0.
That is correct, but I think that is a bit outside of the spirit of the rules.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But it is in spirit with Gishlak Nil.
Yeah.
Yes. However, would you be okay with a single supply?
That's exactly what I was
Is that
going to
enough
suggest.
for you?
Yeah, no. I think more of what I'm trying to do right now is set the narrative positioning here. Just be able to, this is the thing that she is working on in the background. And she's also totally okay using votes to do it. Whoopsies.
Yeah, so I will spend a supply. You get +1 supply that you can channel towards your drive if you want.
Good thing that money never hits the farm estate account.
All right, and make sure to adjust your supply modifiers on your character sheets so that you don't forget for this cycle.
And I will write a new belief with Gishlak.
Yeah.
Despite their history, Gishlak is somebody that I can not depend on. There's something deeper there.
Do business with?
Yes, do business with. Despite their history, Gishlak is someone I can do business with.
I was going to suggest use.
I don't want to be that mean.
Potato.
I don't think you can be too mean to Nil.
Austin, would you remind us of the rules for priority missions? Is it only one squad that can get a priority mission?
2.
It's 2. So it is the two priorities that have the most votes are the ones that get applied.
Groovy.
So right now that's probably 4 votes for the pizza mission. And I think that's the only specific mission that people have talked about.
Mavis suggested the 86 doing an investigate style mission, which I think would probably also be a good idea.
Sure.
And given that I'm kind of okay with the rest of the squads doing liaise, I was thinking about making another speech, but I might be okay with things the way that they currently lie. Who still has scenes? Let's see.
You do. You have one.
I have one.
Zendre has one, and Fishy has one.
Yeah. Zendre, do you have an idea?
Yeah, I was kind of thinking about what I want to do. I was considering either doing another horse trade with Gishlak, just to get some Zendre and Gishlak on screen.
That would be good.
I don't think Zendre and Dr. Kane have interacted much either, so that's kind of...
I'd be happy to do a scene with you if you wanted.
Actually, yeah, I'm going to do a scene with Dr. Kane.
All right, where and when?
Are we going to go 3 for 3 with being in Kane's super cool office lab?
I mean, we can. I was thinking either that or we can do a hospital redux.
Hospital. Let's do the hospital.
All right. Is this before or after?
I think this is after. Zendre has to go back to the hospital for regular checkups and stuff, because while he's no longer in critical condition, he's not in great condition. He's still on the mend.
Is this in a hospital cafe in the atrium or something?
Yeah, sure.
It's after one of your checkups, that's just the convenient place they decided to meet.
Mm-hmm. There's the tapping of a cane announcing Zendre.
What's your coffee order normally? Or cafe order?
He's kind of learned how to just live like a pigeon, so usually it's just black coffee and a bagel. Nothing fancy, because he doesn't have time for fancy.
Sure. You get there and Dr. Kane has 2 cups in one of the sort of cup holder things, and also a bag that has a bagel in it. Zendre.
Doctor. Zendre takes a seat across from you.
Mm-hmm.
The kind of mask that he's wearing is it's a little bit see-through, so you can kind of see the puff of air against it every time he has to breathe.
Sure.
Again, he's hooked up to this sort of hip device that helps him breathe because his lungs are all messed up.
Mm-hmm. How are your injuries treating you since the attack?
I think I'm running off of determination and hubris at this point, Doctor.
I think that's something we can all relate to.
I had an inkling that those men, the chameleons, I had an inkling that they weren't there for us. They were there for information. It's just... I suppose it was bad luck, or something else, maybe call it fate, but... It was my office that they gauged was the weakest link, a point of extraction. Thankfully, we were able to impede their plans, though at great cost. But we're still here.
Well, despite the hours and weeks of recovery time, I think it actually went as well as it could have gone. As soon as we heard gunfire, I was expecting at least one of us to end up dead. But luckily that didn't happen. Why do you suspect it was your terminal?
That's what I'm trying to puzzle together. I couldn't have put any sensitive information on there that was exclusive to me. I made sure to change the passwords. I even had a lock on the door. Like I said, perhaps it was just bad luck.
How much has Zendre talked about, like, his situation vis-a-vis his, like, the people he's replacing? Because I know there's, like, this whole, like, conspiracy thing that Zendre is existing in the foreground of.
Yeah. All the people around him started disappearing in one fashion or another, and that kind of, like, left him as the de facto guy to put in the seat for the legislator here.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if Dr. Kane would have been able to notice that or put that together, to be able to, like, probe it that a little bit more.
Has she, like, read up on any, like, news clippings surrounding the disappearances?
Yeah, I don't think she sleeps in a traditional sense, so it gives her a lot of time to do things like that.
Okay, so, like, there's speculation, and this was kind of, like, revealed because, like, someone's connection to Zendre ticked all the way up.
Yeah.
He was implicated in their disappearances, but he had an alibi.
Sure.
He was cleared of charges. Are you suggesting that this might have been personal, Doctor? That someone somewhere in the Empire would wish to set me up?
I can't help but wonder. Like you said, it does feel a little bit coincidental, and I'm not exactly the kind of person that believes in fate. Unfortunately, the legislative cycle waits for nobody, and we're back to work.
No amount of bullet holes was going to keep me away from the podium, that's for sure.
You're planning a speech, then?
Well, it actually hurts a lot to talk.
Narrator voice. In fact, some number of bullet holes could keep him from the podium.
But I can still make my voice known, even if I have to suffer for it. Currently, I'm working at a way to get to the center of these recent developments. Hopefully we can resolve them quickly, provided that they aren't just a distraction, and we can get on to the problems that matter.
Which are?
Dealing with the Empire.
Do you think it's a bad idea to accept Tempestia's ceasefire, then?
I think it's worth considering at the very least, heeding a ceasefire, but...
If my work with the Form of State has taught me anything, it's that a big superweapon is something you want to keep off the battlefield. Maybe Tempestia is overstating the actual effect of this weapon. Maybe this all is just a ploy to get us to let our guard down a little bit, but I suspect, if it was the case, that it's still worth the gamble, because the alternative is dire.
The one nagging bit of curiosity left in me is whether or not there are people who would actually employ this weapon.
There always are. There's always people who will pull the trigger.
If its scale of destruction is what Tempestia claims, it seems like that would be detrimental to CalazCon itself, unless someone wants this CalazCon to be a CalazCon to end all CalazCons. Maybe there are people on this planet that, in a roundabout way, could agree with that idea. It's just that it's a method that I take issue with. I'm sure you could agree that it's a bit of an extreme resolution to a current problem that we're facing. Zendre starts to cough, and has to kind of force his cough to calm down. The device kicks in, it kind of regulates his breathing. Apologies.
No worries, take your time. There are no good options going forward. The best we can do is make the decision that is going to keep the most people safe.
I am inclined to agree, and if that means removing some dramatic elements from the theater, well, let's just say that recent events have been a bit eye-opening, and they've given me an epiphany.
I'll keep that in mind.
With that said, I plan on, full disclosure, I plan on having the 86 infiltrate CalazCon and glean what they know about this weapon.
That feels like a very useful task.
I believe they're up to it. Hopefully we can gain a better understanding of what this weapon is and where we stand with it, and we can best execute a plan to disable it and these aforementioned dramatic elements, preferably in one fell swoop.
I fully support this endeavor. Unfortunately, I think I need to ensure that zero accountability is set on a priority mission as well. So I'm not certain that I have the votes to spare to ensure yours goes through, but I suspect if you have at least one other person to help vote alongside you, it should be a shoo-in, to say the least.
But you have resources that the 86 could benefit from, and, well, it so happens I have a lot of influence that I'm puzzling out what to do with.
Do you want weapons then? Is that what this comes down to?
Well, this will be more of an infiltration operation. Perhaps something more on the subtle side.
She reaches into a coat pocket, like an inside coat pocket, and pulls out, we've seen this before, but it's coming up again, a small plastic baggie with like what looks like a whole bunch of molars in it.
Are those teeth?
Disguised as such, but yes, they're acid projectiles. The form of state has branded these memento molars. If you sent one of your votes my way to ensure the Zero Accountability Priority Mission, I'd be happy to supply your squad with some memento molars. Out of character, these are the things that we saw Dr. Kane and Red using last time.
Unfortunately, Zendre was a bit too incapacitated to know the dangers of them. He's looking down at the bag of the weird projectile fake teeth.
Truly, this gets weirder the longer I imagine it.
I will certainly see what support I can dredge up for your cause, Doctor.
Do we have a deal then?
Zendre rises up from his chair, kind of a little bit shakily, has to lean on the cane for support. The arm not holding onto the cane, however, reaches a hand out.
And she puts the bag in his hand.
Oh, well, I was going for a handshake, but...
Oh, I totally misunderstood that. I thought that was hand out accepting it as opposed to hand out handshake. Yeah, no, she totally stands up. Rewind that. Totally stands up.
That is very funny given the paranoia about Dr. Kane handshakes.
Yeah, we hit all 4 other people being weird about handshakes with Dr. Kane.
Oh my god.
So, one vote for a bag of teeth.
It sounds like a good deal to me.
Yeah, I can kick a vote her way.
You got 3 of them. Easy.
I do have 3 of them. Easy peasy.
So now you get to write another belief about me, I think. Okay.
I kind of have an idea of what that would be. She employs unconventional tools. Sometimes unconventional is needed.
So wait, what was the final deal there?
The deal was 1 vote for the Zero Accountability Priority Mission for some memento molars.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So, Red or Fishy, who's doing a scene next?
I have a speech.
Take it away, Fishy.
Fishy comes up to the podium. And I think it's about this point that we realize that Louis Balalaika, the corporal, hasn't been with Fishy at all this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And Fishy carefully arranges a manila folder onto the podium, unfolding it. I propose that we host a ceasefire with Jovangellian, at least until we can either disprove that CalazCon has a weapon capable of glassing the planet, or we destroy that weapon. What I need from the legislature is 4 drives. We need 8 total, and Terminal Company is willing to provide half of what is necessary.
Hear, hear.
That is all. Please meet with me soon if you have drives on offer, or I don't. We'll talk about it. I give up my time.
Yeah. You do get passed a note from one of Nil's staffers that the Office of Nil is sad to report that they do not have too many resources they can offer towards this ceasefire. Blue Sky has maybe 1 completed drive clock total, and I have not heard whether they'd be willing to spend that 1, but we would be able to give you 1 vote or 0.
But you can give 1?
1's better than 0.
I cannot commit that 1 because I haven't heard from that player.
Oh.
But all the players I have heard from do not have any that they can give.
Meanwhile, the Farm of State has so many drive clocks and will not share any of them.
Good.
So we're so close.
I really want this to work.
I love Party Whip Fishy.
Party Whip?
So the whip is the member of a political party within a given house whose job it is to go literally count up the votes and convince people, you need to vote for this in order for us to get the majority vote.
Hearing that explanation, I think that's how Fishy got elected.
That is almost certainly it.
Just going to each individual voter and being like, just vote for me. I'll get us out of here.
Yep. That's how you do it sometimes. Okay, out of character. I think I can stir up 3. So is there anywhere else that we can get 1 from in order to make this happen? Austin, do you have any drive clocks?
No, Fabrizio Katana has no drive. That's why they're the House Speaker at Hestiel.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I technically have a finished drive clock. I'm trying to think of other ways I can finagle this to get it to work.
I forget, do rivals have drives?
No.
Okay, never mind.
So you can tick a drive clock at the cost of 1. A legislator can tick a drive clock at the cost of 1 supply. Is that correct?
Oh no, we've really opened the floodgates to something bad.
Yeah, who wants to absolutely fuck over their squad to get this ceasefire?
If we spread it around, it won't be that bad. So
if you spread it around, is anyone actually going to finish a drive clock?
No, I think the idea, if it's -1 to one team and -1 to another team to give me the other 2 ticks, I need to have a full drive clock.
Right. Or if Mavis is interested, Mavis has a 3-tick clock. 3 ticks out of 4.
Ooh.
Zendre, have you asked your squad if they've got any drive to spare?
I'm actually checking in on them to see what they got for drive clocks. I'm going to ask if anyone would care to donate.
The one person in Blue Sky who has one is in a very different time zone from us, so it's probably asleep and won't respond. And I do not know where they would lean. And I have a single tick, so...
I have 2 guaranteed, so really we need 2... If Red talks to Fishy and offers these up, which I think would happen, what we really need is we need 2 more clocks. Zendre is the closest to finishing, which means if someone, it doesn't matter who, but preferably someone who hasn't already spent supply, could trade one's... Well, that's not true, because they would technically have to do that in a horse trading scene, wouldn't they, Austin?
We can backfill it. I don't mind.
Okay, thank you. So if someone gave Zendre a supply to finish a tick, that would be a 3rd clock. Red has a halfway filled clock.
I can give a supply.
Okay.
We've been the driving force here, so...
Yeah. So maybe you give a supply to Zandre Mavis to finish a drive clock. That's 1. I have 2 more, and we need to find 1 more somewhere else, whether that's spending more supply to finish 1, which, that's on the table, or we manage to get in touch with a pilot that already has 1. Does that sound correct?
If Zandra is amenable to this.
I am seeing what my boys can do.
This might end up being like an extra horse trading scene. Like maybe that...
What if we did a group horse trading scene? Like all 5 of you get together.
This rules.
I was gonna ask about that, but that's basically a speech making.
It's just, as soon as the speech finishes, everyone stands up and is on their cell phones, trying to be like, all right, where can we find this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gishlak's spending supply would be a great, I'm going to get myself back into the public goods graces.
Oh, that's
maneuver.
So funny. I love that, actually.
Yeah.
I can tell you what my fictionalization of that would be.
Please.
It would be selling the rights to my memoir.
Oh my god.
Selling a book deal, and then using the contacts and the money from that towards this instead of towards my squad, and that's how we get another -1.
Disgusting.
That's brilliant.
Oh, I want to throw him out a window.
It's for a good cause.
Throwing them out the window?
Truly.
No.
It's for the DFS. Ah!
Y'all, I genuinely tried to get Gishlak shot last time, and Austin would not
did.
take the bait.
You did. We rolled too good.
I would have shot you.
Mm-hmm.
I failed 3 rolls with the guy who pointed a gun at me.
I was thinking of shooting you from behind.
And this is why I'm glad Red's my friend. Okay, so are we okay with I take -1D and then Blue Sky takes another -1D?
Yeah, so to be clear, this is following on from a thing that we did in text chat rather than saying out loud.
Oh, thank you.
So I have 2 clocks that I could... Wait, hang on. So currently, Fishy, where are you at?
I have 4 clocks total.
Okay, Red can get you 2.
So we need 2 more.
Kane, how can you get a clock?
If we're allowing -1d supply modifiers, I can take one of those, which will get me up to 3 ticks on my drive clock. So I just need somebody else to give me another -1 supply.
And it sounds like Gishlak will get you the rest of the way there. And in the meanwhile, Fishy is also going to take 1 supply and give it to Mavis. Is that correct, Zendre?
Yes.
To complete an 8th clock to make it all happen.
Truly, this is so wild.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta know what this looks like narratively. Like, who puts this meeting together? Where do you all meet?
I like this happening just on the floor, like literally, like as that speech concludes. Like we were all there to be listening to it, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love the idea of like the decorum breaking in way that we decided we wanted to do.
Yeah. And we just start doing it. We just start...
It's like on the floor because there's no table there. So we're all just like sitting on the floor.
Is it sitting or standing?
Well, I imagine we had like papers like strewn in between us and we're like sitting in a circle.
Yeah, because ultimately, like, a -1 supply modifier or roll modifier is, like, such an abstraction. Like, that would be, like, X gallons of fuel or, like, so much electricity or whatever it is.
It's like a scene from the boiler room where we're all on the phone, all, like, trying to make things happen simultaneously.
Yeah, totally. It's like, I can get another take if I have, like, if someone can help subsidize my this research grant for this quarter or, like, that kind of stuff.
Gishlak is just on 2 separate phones talking to 2 different publishing companies, driving up like a bidding war for their rights to their memoir.
Oh my god. Red's just talking exclusively in code phrases into a burner phone. The grain of rice has 7 feet. Mayday, mayday. No, 7 feet.
We've heard from Dr. Kane, Red, and Gishlak. What does this look like for Fishy and Zendre?
Zendre just got a new computer set up in his office to replace the old one. Just finished updating everything, getting all the account information transferred over, and looking at this just depressingly stark desktop that no longer has all the creature comforts. Unfortunately, Bonzi Buddy went the way of the dodo when his previous computer got smashed, but a email pops up, probably to get in touch with him and be like, hey, we're willing to give you some supply to put towards whatever your own personal ends, if you're willing to help us with this favor. And it sounds like I might have my drive clock for you guys from the 86.
Oh, whoa. A 9th?
You should definitely confirm that is the intent from that player.
Yeah, to be clear, one of Red's is coming from the squad.
Also, you should find out what it looks like, what their contribution is narratively.
Right. We're working out the details right now.
Well, it looks like we might not technically need it. I don't know what the situation is with that player.
Well, if Fishy has spent 3 supply, then maybe it's worth it.
That's a good point.
I've only spent 1 supply because Gishlak couldn't provide any.
Oh, that's right. Never mind.
Yep.
So, do you still need a clock from the 86?
I guess it's up to you, Zandre. Do you want
I mean, I have people willing to donate.
Yeah, do you want to stash your drive clock and be sly about it? Or do you want to not do that, I guess?
I think it would be good to capitalize on the goodwill of my squad, as shitty as that is.
Hell yeah.
That's good.
He's learning.
I'm trying to find the ability that is advertisements on my squad, because I had an idea where this would come from.
It's actually an item that Mike has. The tuner has an item called Sponsorship Decals.
Sponsor decals. Okay. Covered in logos, catchphrase or sponsor. This is my idea. I secure a second sponsor for Michael, the tuner. Whether or not the squad follows through with that sponsor is up to them, but I've taken the money.
May I make a suggestion?
Sure.
What if it's just additional Farm Upstate decals, but it's adding like a big toothy grin to his mech?
Oh, Jesus.
And somewhere on it says like "Memento Molar, don't miss out" or some better catchphrase.
Sink your teeth in.
I will communicate that to them and let them decide if they actually do that, but
God.
that's where the money's coming from.
I have what has turned out to be really, really good context for the player drive clock that Zero Accountability is offering up. So the player that... Red is probably not talking directly to this pilot, although he's talked directly to all of them. Is probably getting this through the direct superior, going to the captain, going to Azara Sky, the infiltrator, which is the same playbook that Red has. Azara is rivals with Tempestia's number 2 and voluntarily gives up intel.
Oh, that's good.
With an encrypted message to Red with a note that says, "I've been obsessed for a long time with him, and it's slowly killing me. Maybe you can do something more productive with it."
Scary.
Zero Accountability is a perfectly normal squad.
Has there ever been a normal game of Beam Saber?
No one knows. No one knows.
This is normal.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got one drive clock from this 86, one drive clock from Pizza, 3 from Terminal Company, correct?
4 from Terminal Company.
Okay, so that's 6, and where are the last 2 coming from?
I think it's mine.
And Reds.
Okay, and are those your embezzling for this?
I think the two of us just have completed drive clocks.
I'm not spending my completed drive clock.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
That's right,
Like-
that's right. I'm sorry, I got confused. So wait, where's the 8th one coming from? Is that coming from
It was going to
Mavis?
be... I gave myself -1d supply roll modifier to get me up to 3 ticks, and then somebody else gave me another -1d to get me up to 4. I can't remember who that other
It
person
was
was.
Gishlak.
Gishlak.
Wait, but you're not going to spend that drive now?
No, I would.
Uh-huh.
There's no but there, like, right? If we're using my drive clock to fill this up, then yes, it's locked in for me.
4 from Terminal Company, including Fishy. 1 from the 86, 2 from Pizza, including Red,
Uh-huh.
and 1 from Dr. Kane.
Yes,
That is 8.
that's 8.
Nice.
All right.
Austin, do you want to read the section about spending drive clocks that makes this all so important?
A player may spend 1 or more completed drive clocks at any time to change the world. The more clocks spent at once, the bigger the change. Spend 1 drive clock. I don't think we need to read
Sure.
all the smaller changes that can happen. Spend 4 drive clocks to change the circumstances of a faction. Anytime you spend a drive clock, in addition to the normal benefits, you can choose to rewrite your drive. Once a drive clock has been spent, it is emptied of all ticks. You can immediately start taking actions to refill it by pursuing your drive, whether you changed it when you spent your clock or kept it the same. So, I don't think Zendre actually spent any of his own drive clocks, but Red and Dr. Kane and Fishy did, so you can change your drive clocks if you're so inclined.
I'm not going to change my drive, I think. I think I'm going to leave it as is for the next cycle.
I'm still trying to get out of here.
I'll get back to you.
That's fair. We don't have to get into the specifics. We can sort of like montage it, but how is this ceasefire arranged between the DFS and the Jovangellians? Is it through Red and Tempestia?
It would be very funny for Fishy to take all of these drive clocks and spend them on something else.
Oh my god.
See ya.
Yeah, my squad disappears. We're out of the whole
Goodbye.
spy. Yeah.
Look, you're spending 8. You can get the DFS to leave Logel as you want.
Wow.
Shit. Well, when you put it that way. No, Fishy is ruthless, but is not a liar. This was the plan. This is what we're going to do. We're going to have a ceasefire.
Red nodding like a Robert Redford in the fishing gif.
So what this looks like on my end is I have a lot of contacts of former Jovangel people who have contacts still in Jovangel who can get us in and start talking. And then there's scenes of Fishy talking to Jovangel officials and other legislators talking to Jovangellian officials. And we're all working our way through DFS as well, talking to constituents and aides and, all the people with all the clipboards. There's a press conference where we're all standing up there, and all of the leaders of Jovangellian who are on Hestial are standing up there, and there's 100 microphones.
Hold on
we're
a
all
second.
Taking turns.
I love, sorry to interrupt, but this idea of a press conference with Jovangellian leaders with you at the press conference, I love the idea of Gishlak Nil and Iron Smoke standing next to each other at a press conference.
Oh
That's
my
fucking
God.
incredible.
Yep.
Remind me-
Absolutely.
That's
Remind
the person
me who Iron Smoke?
That's
Iron
the- that's
Smoke. It was the guy that came in and
Yeah.
shot guns inside the
Oh,
fucking
yes,
legislature.
okay.
That I
It's
tried
been
to
a
ask
week.
to fight me on the marketplace of ideas.
I have his bullets in my chest.
That's right. Okay, I remember now. I remember faces better than names. That's also not true. And so, yeah, there's the big press conference, lots of handshakes in front of the cameras, interviews where legislators and Jovangellian leaders go on, opposite side talk shows. Whatever, late night TV looks like for Jovangellian. It's all very tense still, too. The ceasefire only exists until we confirm that this machine is gone or doesn't exist.
I have a question, Gavin. How
Yeah?
public do you think that is?
The machine? Oh, no, we don't talk about that.
Yeah, okay, so it is under wraps. It's like we're having a ceasefire for some indeterminate period of time where we all know it's because of this gun. It's not, the public doesn't know about it in that sense.
No. And I think, the media suites have been prepared not to, to avoid those sorts of questions and to focus on, what this means for the DFS and Jovangellian in the future on Hestial. Does it actually mean anything? We each at least once have to go on a talk show where we just get dunked for an hour and just, acquiesce to, Jovangellian machismo or something.
Austin, do you think there's anything about, one of the legislatures being, I guess, kind of, revealed as, being a robot? Does that, register for anybody?
I mean, your constituents are the farm upstate, and so the thing about the DFS is that it is hugely multicultural, right?
Yeah.
There are definitely DFS systems that are flipping their shit about a synthetic person representing DFS citizens.
Yeah,
Right? That absolutely hate that idea.
totally.
But I would say that for the majority of the DFS, it's probably way more even-handed, sort of whatever. And some people are like, why was she hiding it? And
Sure.
And maybe this potentially leans towards Dr. Kane having a higher up in the DFS government potential voting block behind her.
Sure.
As other synthetic citizens see another of their own represented within the government. It's a very wide spectrum of reactions to that.
Totally. I just felt like I wanted to put that on screen.
Mm-hmm.
I think we forgot to do beliefs for Fishy making a speech.
Ah, yes.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
probably true. Well, after all that, y'all think about what beliefs you might have for Fishy following, I suppose, not just that speech, but all of this.
Well, my beliefs tick up to 4 with Fishy after that.
So what are you asking?
This is gonna be, I guess, something that has to be answered out of character, but I do really want to know what the prospect of Zendre and Kagan Fischel ever working together again after that weird kind of guffaw.
Fishy really wants to work with you. Every time I imagine us having that conversation, it's just me, Gavin, lecturing you, Snuggs, about what voting against yourself looks like. And that's what happened. And that's not how I want that relationship to be, So she's a really friendly person, really forgiving a lot of the time, especially when you're very powerful and have a lot of votes. So yeah, there is prospect and probably will be next, and definitely will be next cycle.
That will be interesting, seeing them talk together after everything that's happened so far.
Yeah. We can talk vote math in a way that isn't lecturing, I guess.
My new belief with Kagan Fischl is a politician, and worse, he's a very good one.
Yeah. In a similar vein, my new belief is Fishy's star is going to rise far past my own.
My new belief is I'm glad Fishy knows what problems are worth committing to. He's not such a rookie anymore.
My new belief is if, when we win this war, Hestiel will be in good hands.
Ah, character arcs. I love it.
I don't want to stay here. What? No.
We've still got one last scene from Red.
We sure do. I think this is a horse trading scene with Fischl. You get a note asking you to meet Red up on the roof.
Oh, classic.
Can this be during, like, the legislator, like, popping champagne party for getting this all
that's
done?
great. Yeah, that's excellent.
So Official comes up with, like, an extra glass.
Oh, hell yeah. Red is up there, hands on hips, admiring the obvies of both factions. Because, of course, both of them have them here.
I love the idea of the noontide squall in the parking lot.
Oh, yeah. Hell of a moment.
I'll say. Here.
Takes it.
Clink.
Clink. Congratulations.
Couldn't have done it without you, Red.
I have the satisfaction of being a horse attached to the cart, but you're the one driving it.
If you say so.
Do you...
I'm a little embarrassed, I have to admit.
About what? This is the job.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the job, isn't it? Sit.
And that doesn't make you happy.
Points down at one particular Avi. It was that squad that killed my friends. It was that one.
That's hard.
And now we're just drinking champagne. Because there's something scarier.
The arc of history does not bend towards justice. It would be foolish to think that it's otherwise. That doesn't make it easier, but it is true.
They don't make movies like this, huh?
Fuck you, Calazar. Sip.
What did you want, Red?
Me? I wanted to apologize for the slap. You know, that was childish, and it was me reading into a situation deeply incorrectly, and trying to put more of myself into a situation when really what I should have done was follow Dr. Kane's lead and simply, work towards our shared interest. From the moment that we met, we've had a dispute about what it means to be a good soldier. And legislature aside, I think perhaps I've spent maybe a little bit too much time underwater to really still have a clear view about that. You've suffered for that, at least emotionally, I think. And so I wanted to apologize.
I appreciate that, Red. I really do. I think I lost my head back there, too. We didn't have a chain of command. We're not supposed to be. Maybe that's something we should propose tomorrow.
Well, if it's all the same with you, I'd rather I not have my jaw melted off again before we're off Hestiel. Hey, you want to see something? Takes his jaw off.
I think a fishy from like 2 cycles ago would have laughed at that. But this fishy just like looks at you like, huh.
Yeah, hell of a thing they can do with the technology these days anyway.
You know, Red, you like to pretend, or you try to give off a mysterious vibe. But it's pretty clear in the way that you vote, in your actions, that ocean that you were drowning in, you were blinded by, is Tempestia. So I'm surprised that you helped me do this.
That's quite the theory, legislator official.
Theory, yes.
Downs the glass. I think I'm going to need a refill. Let's get out of sight of these enemy squads, shall we?
Yes, and I think Fishy pours out the rest of his glass over the edge.
Mm.
And I think that's C.
I think I gotta not do that jaw thing again. I think I'm just gonna retire that bit.
Half of comedy is timing.
So that's the last horse trading scene. So y'all take your tokens back, because now it's time to actually vote. First up is voting for the faction goal. Any legislator may propose a faction goal. Who has a faction goal in mind that they would like to propose?
Representative Nil would like to propose Divided They Fall as a faction goal.
All right. Any other proposals?
I think a lot of us agree on this one.
Uh-huh.
It's a good choice.
I can put Assault the Foe on there. I don't know if that's going to get any votes, though.
You don't. No one has to. This can pass unanimously. And then my question is, does anyone abstain? All right. Sounds like it's this vote passes unanimously with no abstentions.
Uh-huh.
The Nil Classic.
Divided They Fall passes.
Vein pops out of forehead.
Next up is voting on the faction strategy. Any legislator may propose a strategy of attack, bankroll, investigate, or liaise. Who wants to propose a strategy?
I'm proposing investigate.
Nods.
I'm going to propose liaise.
Nods.
Any other proposals? That sounds like a no. Okay. In our Discord channel, put in A for investigate or B for liaise, and you can put in as many letters as you have votes. Don't hit enter yet. Say when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Ready.
Everyone hit enter.
Wow.
Okay, so that is
A tie.
Tie.
Oh, no.
And who has one drive left?
Yeah, does anyone want to spend a drive to swing this vote?
This is another potato-potato situation.
Oh, just to be clear, the tie is Gishlak, Fishy, and Dr. Kane voting for liaise, and Red and Zendre voting for investigate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not spending a drop clock.
Okay.
In which case, I think it's up to the speaker, right?
Yes.
Wait, doesn't Zendre also have a drive clock?
I'm not spending a drop clock.
Oh,
Okay.
excuse me.
I think Zendre is like, oh, please remember that I pulled your ass out of the fire when we came under attack. That's what he's thinking. Not what he's saying.
Please don't remember that I attached a bomb to you. I meant to apologize to you during the session. It just didn't come up.
Fabrizio Catana, upon seeing the tie votes, considers for a few minutes before speaking. With the recently arranged ceasefire between the DFS and the Jovangellian resistance, I think that it is unnecessary at this time to continue liaising with them. So I am going to sway the vote in favor of investigating whatever it is that CalazCon is developing to use against us and the people of Hestiel. Investigate
Hear, hear.
passes.
A non-vicious Zendre would arm pump right now, but he does not. He just folds his arms and kind of like closes his eyes.
Good night.
Okay, this is going pretty quick.
Easy peasy.
Lastly, voting for priorities. Any squads not given a priority mission must follow the faction's chosen strategy. Only the 2 priorities that receive the most votes will be assigned. Each legislator may propose 1 priority. Dr. Kane, do you have a...
Yes.
Yes, what are you proposing?
I would like to propose that Zero Accountability attacks Logan suddenly.
Okay.
And suddenly there is a surname, not an adjective, right?
That is
Yep.
correct. The name is Logan, first name, last name, suddenly.
Suddenly, immediately. Attack him immediately.
Red gets up and pulls out his gun.
Be right back.
All right.
Does anyone else have a priority to propose?
Real quick, who is in charge of the upcoming party going on in CalazCon?
That is a good question. It's going to be one of the high-tier NPC squads. I suppose I probably should have thought of this before now.
Would it just be the early birds?
No, it's CalazClash.
Mm.
CalazClash are
makes
the
sense.
ones who are running these parties. The early birds, while a higher tier, are mostly just attendees.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's CalazClash are the ones who are planning and running the parties.
Okay, so Zendre is going to propose that the 86 infiltrate and try to gather information from CalazClash
Okay.
about this potential super weapon.
So you can target the enemy squad, or you can target a specific objective, not both.
I think we're going to go after the objective.
Investigate the super weapon.
Yeah, I think that's the right call.
Any other priority proposals?
Representative Nil would like to propose that the Blue Sky Endowment liaise with... Shoot, I'm torn here between... You know what? No, it's been proposed. I like it. It was proposed by the squad itself. Liaise with the 501st. Taking advantage of the fact that their leadership is in shambles, perhaps we can turn them towards that divided they fall goal. So yeah, Blue Sky liaise with 501st.
Okay.
I would like to propose that Terminal Company liaises with the spaceport.
Okay. Yeah, it does it like... So the specific objective is the spaceport. Okay.
Yeah, so it's Jovangellian controlled, so we can't attack it, but we can muscle our way in and establish operations there.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Kane, do you have a proposal?
No.
Just before we start casting votes, Zendre, I would like to point out that with the 86 not having any priorities assigned, they will automatically go to investigate because of the strategy. So, would you like to change or withdraw your proposal?
Well, they kind of want to go to the party, so I think I'm going to change it to liaise.
Liaise regarding the super weapon?
Yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah, I like that. Are they good at liaising?
we'll see.
All right.
Who's actually good at liaising here? Think about that for a second.
So just to be clear, liaise is a squad seeks to improve relationships with an enemy squad to mutual benefit, or at least the benefit of our faction.
I think learning about a potential super weapon would benefit us.
Okay.
And there's probably people here, people in high places who might know a bit about it. So.
Maybe the 86 say, hey, we the DFS love super weapons. What is democracy if not the ultimate super weapon?
Shudders.
All right, then. That is all the proposals in. So, A, for pizza attacks Logan suddenly. B, for the 86 liaise regarding the super weapon. C, Blue Sky liaise the 501st. D, Terminal Company liaise the spaceport. So, put a number of letters into our chat equal to your
number of
votes, and let us know when you are ready.
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 Hit enter.
Betrayal.
What?
What?
Zendre said he was going to send a vote my way.
That's true. Zandre did say
I
that.
forgot. I'm sorry. Can I change mine?
No.
No, it's actually good that you voted this way.
Yeah, it makes it easier.
Yeah.
I don't mind because mine got 4 votes.
Actually, okay, if you send one Kane's way, I'll change one of mine, and that way the vote numbers will stay the same, but everyone will be honorable. That's how voting works, right?
Definitely. So that was 4 votes for Pizza Attack Logan Suddenly, 3 votes for 86 liaising about the super weapon, 2 votes for Terminal Company liaising with a spaceport, and 1 vote for Blue Sky liaising with a 501st.
Yep, and that is, for the record, Fishy voting for the Terminal Company liaising the spaceport, Gishlag voting for Blue Sky liaising the 501st, Zendre voting all 3 votes for the 86 liaising the super weapon, and then Dr. Kane and Red both voting for Pizza attacking Logan suddenly.
You know what? I could do a really dumb thing and spend my drive clock to send a vote towards Gishlag.
Please don't.
Do that. It's not worth it.
That wouldn't
super
even
not
change
worth it.
anything.
Yeah.
I know.
Gishlak is a little annoyed with you because you got your strategy through and then got your mission through, even though you would have been fine with just the strategy. But, we can let bygones be bygones. We can still work together.
Gishlak sent the
It's
86 to murder one guy.
I'm going to throw you out a window.
I didn't expect that to pass.
I wasn't aiming at you.
And also, the guy's not even dead. He's fine.
Oh, jeez.
I feel like this happens at the end of every legislative session.
Yeah.
Red says that in character.
Yeah, speaking of, let's get everyone's reactions to this round of voting for the faction goal, for the strategy, and for the priorities. Dr. Kane, how do you react to all of this?
Big sigh of relief. The Farm of State was not wanting to have to deal with Logan suddenly after the betrayal, and we're hoping to move on to brighter and better things, so getting Pizza to just sort of handle that, chef's kiss. Wonderful. And the secret surprise vote from Fabrizio Katana getting the investigate is actually, I think, great for Dr. Kane. She wanted to vote liaise to make good on her word, and then also wanted to, but didn't actually want that to pass. So I think this worked out great for her.
Red, what's your reaction to how this went down?
Red is cautiously optimistic. For the first time since getting here, I think that we might actually be able to do something here in Hestiol.
Fishy?
Fishy can't be disappointed. Didn't really try to get any votes for this session, just did a monumental historical solar system changing thing instead. So it's fine. We'll get that spaceport next cycle.
Gishlak, how are you feeling about this?
Not great. Like, as Gavin pointed out in chat a while ago, you can't spell Gishlak nil without a few L's, and we took some tonight. Just barely losing that liaise vote and then not getting a strategy to liaise either. Was really counting on that. Thought we had a lock with Dr. Kane on our side. But also, like, of all the ways that this could break bad, this isn't particularly bad. BSE will be fine investigating. Don't super disagree with anything else that we're doing. And I'm working from a position of weakness right now, so it could be a lot worse.
And Zendre, how do you feel about how this went?
Absolutely stone-faced, completely checked out. Half his face is covered in a breather, so it's hard to really tell what his poker face is, but he's pretty poker-faced.
With that, Fabrizio Katana bangs their gavel thrice and then says, "This closes this parliamentary session." Thanks for listening to CalazCon. This episode was edited by me, Austin Ramsey. You can find my work at austin-ramsey.itch.io. Sound balancing for this episode was done by Christine Blight. You can reach her for voice acting at CVBlight@gmail.com. The show's music is by Devin Nelson. You can find them on all social media at Devin Decibel. If you'd like to support CalazCon, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/CalazCon. Please tell your friends about the show too. Remember, all glory to Calazar.